For billions of years, Earth has been orbiting an ordinary star, inside an ordinary galaxy, in a universe filled with hundreds of billions of galaxies. And yet, somehow, this tiny world became alive. Not just barely alive. Earth developed oceans, a stable atmosphere, a protective magnetic field, a recycling geological system, a climate capable of remaining within surprisingly narrow limits. And eventually, plants, animals, oceans filled with microscopic organisms, forests, intelligence, and civilizations capable of looking into the universe and asking how any of this happened. The more we learn about Earth, the stranger the situation becomes. Because life doesn't simply need water. It needs the right temperature, the right chemistry, the right atmosphere, protection from radiation, a stable energy source, long-term climate stability, and enough time for biological evolution to work. Earth appears to have an extraordinary combination of all of them. So, is Earth suspiciously perfect for life? Or are we simply seeing the universe from the only world we know where life exists? The answer may be more complicated and more fascinating than either possibility. To understand just how unusual Earth is, we need to start with the Sun. Our planet sits approximately 150 million kilometers from it. That distance is not random. It places Earth within what scientists often call the habitable zone. The region around a star where temperatures could potentially allow liquid water to exist on a planet's surface. Too close, and oceans can evaporate. Too far, and water can freeze. Earth happens to occupy a remarkably favorable location. But distance alone is not enough. Venus is relatively close to Earth in size. It is also located near the Sun's habitable zone. Yet Venus is a nightmare. Its atmosphere is overwhelmingly dominated by carbon dioxide. Its surface pressure is crushing. Its clouds contain sulfuric acid. And its surface temperature is hot enough to melt lead. Mars is different. It lies farther from the Sun. Its atmosphere is extremely thin. Its surface is cold. Liquid water is difficult to maintain for long periods. So Earth demonstrates something important. Being in the habitable zone does not automatically make a planet habitable. The planet itself has to cooperate. And Earth's atmosphere does something extraordinary. It regulates temperature, carbon dioxide, water vapor, methane, and other greenhouse gases trap part of the heat Earth receives from the Sun. Without this natural greenhouse effect, Earth would be dramatically colder. But too much greenhouse warming creates the opposite problem. Venus demonstrates what happens when a planet's atmosphere becomes trapped in an extreme greenhouse state. Earth somehow remains within a relatively narrow window. Warm enough for oceans. But not so warm that they disappear. But not so warm that they disappear. Cold enough to avoid runaway heating. But not so cold that the entire surface freezes permanently. That balance is one of the reasons Earth is so unusual. And then, there is water. Earth is covered by oceans. More than 70% of its surface is covered by liquid water. Water is one of the most important ingredients for life as we understand it. It dissolves chemicals, transports nutrients, enables complex reactions, regulates temperature, and creates environments where molecules can interact. But perhaps the most remarkable thing about Earth's water is that it has remained here for billions of years. The planet has experienced asteroid impacts, volcanic eruptions, ice ages, mass extinctions, changes in atmospheric composition, changes in solar brightness, and enormous shifts in climate. Yet liquid water repeatedly returned. How? Part of the answer may lie beneath our feet. Earth is geologically active. Its crust is broken into enormous tectonic plates. These plates move slowly, colliding, separating, and sliding beneath one another. At first glance, this might seem like ordinary geology. But plate tectonics may be one of the reasons Earth remained habitable for so long. Carbon dioxide is constantly moving between the atmosphere, oceans, rocks, and Earth's interior. Volcanic activity releases carbon dioxide. Weathering removes it. Sediments carry carbon into the ocean. Subduction eventually transports it back into Earth's interior. This creates a gigantic planetary recycling system. Over geological timescales, Earth regulates one of the most important greenhouse gases. Without such feedback, Earth's climate could potentially become much more unstable. Mars appears to have lost much of its geological activity. Venus may have developed a completely different climate history. Earth somehow maintained a dynamic system for billions of years. But even that isn't enough. Because Earth also has a magnetic field. Deep beneath our feet, Earth's outer core contains electrically conductive molten metal. Its movement generates a global magnetic field. And that invisible shield protects our planet from much of the charged particle environment produced by the Sun. The solar wind constantly streams outward from the Sun. Without protection, those particles can gradually strip away atmospheric gases. Mars provides a fascinating comparison. The planet once possessed a much stronger magnetic field. But its global dynamo weakened. Over enormous periods of time, the solar wind interacted with its atmosphere. Today, Mars has only a thin atmosphere. Earth's magnetic field does not make our planet invulnerable. Solar storms can still disturb it. Power grids can be affected. Satellites can be damaged. Auroras can appear at much lower latitudes. But the magnetic field provides another layer of protection. And then, Earth has something else that is easy to overlook. A large moon. The moon is unusually large compared with the planet it orbits. And its gravity affects Earth in profound ways. The most obvious effect is the tides. The moon's gravitational pull moves Earth's oceans. But its influence may extend much deeper. The moon helps stabilize Earth's axial orientation. Earth's axis is tilted by roughly 23.5 degrees. That tilt creates the seasons. Without a relatively stable orientation, Earth's climate could potentially experience much larger long-term variations. The moon may therefore have contributed to keeping Earth's environment comparatively stable over geological timescales. But where did the moon come from? The leading explanation is extraordinary. Billions of years ago, a Mars-sized body may have collided with the young Earth. The impact blasted enormous quantities of material into orbit. That debris eventually came together, forming the moon. A catastrophic collision may have helped create one of the conditions that later supported life. Then there is Earth's location within the galaxy. We live in the Milky Way. But we are not located near its crowded central region. The galactic center contains enormous numbers of stars, high-energy radiation, and a supermassive black hole. Closer to the center, stellar encounters become more common. Explosions are more frequent. The environment can be much more violent. Earth instead orbits in a relatively calmer region of the galaxy. Far enough from the center to avoid some of those dangers. But still within a region rich enough in heavy elements to form rocky planets. And heavy elements matter. Carbon, oxygen, nitrogen, silicon, iron, phosphorus, calcium. The elements that make life possible were not created by Earth itself. Many were forged inside ancient stars. Those stars lived, burned through their fuel, and died. Their explosions scattered heavy elements into space. Later, that material became part of the cloud that eventually formed our solar system. In a very real sense, Earth is made from the remains of dead stars.